Before the bright lights and million-dollar contracts, Dejounte Murray was just a kid trying to survive the streets of South Seattle. Raised in a neighborhood where crime wasn't the exception, it was the norm, he learned early how harsh life could be. Violence, drugs, jail time, they weren't only around him. They were part of his story, but somehow through all the chaos, he found a way out. This is the story of how a troubled teenager with a criminal record defied the odds, silenced the doubters, and became one of the NBA's most dynamic and resilient guards. Dejounte Murray was born on September 19, 1996, and raised in the Rainier Valley neighborhood of South Seattle, an area deeply affected by gang culture, crime, and drug activity. It's the kind of place people avoid after dark, if they're lucky enough to avoid it at all. His uncle, Terry Thompson, put it bluntly: "If you're not from the South End, that's not somewhere you want to be." In Dejounte, he was right in the middle of it. Shootings, drug deals, drive-bys. That was the soundtrack of his childhood. His mother battled addiction and was in and out of prison. His father was in and out of his life. Full-time parenting didn't exist in Dejounte's world. He bounced from one unstable living situation to the next. Couches, motels, relatives' homes. At just 11 years old, he was arrested for the first time. Juvenile detention didn't scare him. He already knew the drill. "I wasn't nervous," he said. "I knew what to expect from going to jail." Violence didn't shock him anymore either. He got used to the numbness that hits after hearing another close friend or cousin got shot. Some died. Others disappeared into the prison system. Almost everyone from that chapter of his life is either locked up or dead. He never had a favorite cartoon, never had a favorite toy, just survival instincts. Basketball wasn't even a dream at that point. It was background noise to a life full of chaos. The turning point didn't come with a big speech or miracle moment. It came after another trip to juvenile detention, ages 15, around the time he was transitioning from freshman to sophomore year. He missed a championship game while in juvie against a senior opponent from a rival school in Zach Levine. He watched Levine go off to college after that. This time it hit different. He called his uncle, and the conversation was short. "Come live with me. This stops now." So he did. He moved in with Thompson, a former pro player who knew what success looked like. He also started spending nights at the home of Mitch Johnson, who would later become an assistant coach with the Spurs. For the first time, Dejounte had structure. People around him who weren't trying to pull him into the streets, but push him away from them. Still, the pull of the streets never fully disappeared. But at Rainier Beach High School, where legends like Jamal Crawford and Nate Robinson once played, basketball started to mean something. Jamal Crawford saw him early and didn't just hand him advice. He gave him time. He believed in him. Dejounte started grinding. Hours in the gym, days without distractions, nights skipping parties. By 2015, he was named Washington's Gatorade Player of the Year. From a juvenile record to Division I interest. From a kid with no plan to a young man with purpose. He left running from the streets forever. He was running towards something. In 2015, Dejounte Murray made a choice that said everything about his mindset. He stayed in Seattle. While others chased blue blood programs, he committed to the University of Washington. For him, it wasn't the hype. It was about staying grounded and building from the soil he came from. And once he stepped on the court, he made his presence felt fast. 16.1 points, 5.9 rebounds, 4.4 assists, and 1.8 steals per game. As a freshman, 34 games, 34 starts. He didn't miss a beat. His athleticism was electric. Long strides, fast hands, fearless in transition. He had the instincts of a scorer, the motor of a defender, and the confidence of a future star. The Pac-12 took notice. He earned a spot on both the all-conference second team and the all-freshman team. But even with all that, scouts hesitated. His shot wasn't fully developed. His reads under pressure weren't always sharp. The tools were there, but they needed refining. Still, Murray wasn't interested in waiting around. He didn't come from a place where patience paid the bills. He trusted his grind and bet on his own ceiling. March 2016, he declared for the NBA draft. One and done. It was a risk, but Murray had already faced tougher odds. He was all in, no plan B, just plan A, make it. Although he wasn't a projected superstar lacking the polish some teams wanted. But he had the hunger, and that's what caught the eye of one of the league's most respected franchises, the San Antonio Spurs. Dejounte Murray was selected 29th overall in the 2016 NBA draft by the San Antonio Spurs. Many teams passed on him, but Spurs head coach Greg Popovich saw something different. Elite defensive potential, long arms, hustle, and raw talent. Early in his career, Murray had the chance to learn behind veteran Tony Parker. He played limited minutes at first, but the Spurs were patient. By the 2017-2018 season, he had earned a starting role. That year, he made history by being named to the NBA All-Defensive Second Team at just 21 years old, joining the likes of Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, and Anthony Davis as the only other players to do it age 21 and under. But just as things were taking off, disaster struck. In a preseason game in October 2018, Murray tore his right ACL. The injury would sideline him for the entire 2018-2019 season, just as he seemed poised to break out. His road to recovery would take time, but it would also reveal the kind of fighter he had always been. And soon that grit would carry him to his first All-Star appearance. October 7th, 2018. A preseason game against the Houston Rockets. Dejounte Murray drives to the basket on a fast break, plants his foot, and collapses. Just like that, his momentum came to a screeching halt. The diagnosis came fast, a torn ACL in his right knee. He was out for the entire 2018-19 season. A devastating blow, especially after being named to the NBA All-Defensive Second Team just months earlier. With Tony Parker leaving the Spurs, it was supposed to be Dejounte's team. Instead, he was sidelined indefinitely. Critics whispered, was this the beginning of the end? But Murray didn't entertain that noise. He attacked rehab with a vengeance. Not only to get back up, but to come back far better. He bulked up, cleaned up his jump shot mechanics, and most importantly, rebuilt his mindset. The injury didn't break him, it became his fuel. And that fuel would soon ignite a comeback story worth watching. When Murray returned in the 2019-20 season, he didn't try to rush greatness. He eased back in, found his rhythm, and by the time 2021 rolled around, with DeMar DeRozan gone, he was ready to take control. And he did. In the 2021-22 season, Murray averaged 19.6 points, 9.2 assists, 8.4 rebounds, and 2.06 steals per game. He led the entire NBA in steals and was fourth in assists, 10 triple-doubles, a new single-season record for the Spurs. The league took notice. In February 2022, Murray was selected to the NBA All-Star Game, stepping in as a replacement for Draymond Green. But this wasn't charity, it was earned. He had evolved from a long-arm defender into a full-fledged floor general. This was a smashing arrival, and as the All-Star spotlight faded, another surprise awaited, a major shift in Murray's career path. In 2022, Dejounte Murray's path took a sharp turn. Traded to the Atlanta Hawks, he left behind the Spurs system that shaped him and walked into a new city, a new locker room, and a new challenge. No more being the lone star. Now he shared the backcourt with Trae Young, an offensive powerhouse with a big spotlight. Some thought they'd clash, but Murray didn't flinch. He adapted, cut harder, moved smarter, picked his spots, and still guarded the toughest assignment every night. His numbers, 20.5 points, 6 assists, over 1.5 steals a game. But it wasn't about stats, it was about presence. When the Hawks fell behind, Murray brought fight. When the game got ugly, he stayed composed. He played with a chip, like someone who never forgot where he came from. The 2022-23 season wasn't perfect. The Hawks finished 41-41, but Murray's impact went deeper. He brought urgency, he brought voice. He showed the younger guys what a professional looks like. On defense, in film sessions, And in the locker room when it mattered, he didn't come to Atlanta to fit in, he came to win. And slowly the team is learning how to follow that edge. Dejounte Murray climbed through the mud to get where he is now. Juvenile halls, broken homes, doubt around every corner. But fighting through it all, he's an all-star. A leader. A survivor turned star. Every game he plays is a reminder. Where you start means nothing. Where you finish means everything. And his story, it's still being written.